everyone, my name is Mark Veith, and I'm here today from Winona Fire Department to start what is your Junior Fire Inspectors program for this year. The Junior Fire Inspectors program is a fire safety program that consists of 3 visits. We teach this to all the 5th grade classes throughout the entire Winona School District. The fire department has been doing this program for many years. If you talk to your parents, many of them probably will have gone through this program at one time or another. All 3 of the visits kind of work the same. In each visit, I do some teaching. We always have at least one video to watch. I'll do some type of demonstration for you to see, show you a little bit more of fire safety. And then there is also some very simple but very important homework that the teachers will be handing out to you. Also, at the end of this video, we'll talk about the fire safety poster contest for your opportunity to win some cash prizes by drawing a fire safety poster. And also, we're going to talk a little bit more about the junior chief and assistant chief. Out of each classroom, the teacher will choose a chief and an assistant chief from the students. And what this does is, hopefully, if we get to have a Steamboat Days parade this year, the chief gets first opportunity to be in the Steamboat Days parade with the Winona Fire Department. And then the assistant chief acts as an alternate if they are not able to be there. So we have those items to get through, and what we're going to start out right away today with is when we start talking about fire safety, we find it's best that the better you understand what fire is and how fire actually works, the better you're able to understand how it can be so dangerous to you. Whenever we talk about fire, we like to talk about fire in relationship to the fire triangle. We use a triangle because a triangle has 3 sides, and there are 3 things that you need to have in order to have a fire. First thing you're going to need in order to have a fire is you're going to need some type of a fuel. You'll need a fuel source. It doesn't have to be gasoline or wood or anything. It doesn't have to be anything in particular. You just need something that will burn. Also, you're going to need an oxygen supply. You're going to need the oxygen supply in order to keep a fire burning. Last part of the fire triangle that you need to have is you need to have a heat source. And you need all 3 of these things to come together in the right amounts in order for you to have a fire. But the good thing about looking at the fire triangle is we actually use the fire triangle for fighting fires. Because all you have to do is take away any one of these 3 things and a fire is going to go out, or the fire will not start in the first place. Now most times when we fight a fire, we pull up with the fire trucks and we are using water. Okay? It's easy to get. We get it right out of the hydrants. It's clean, doesn't make too big a mess. When you spray water onto the fire, it takes the heat away. When you put the water on, the heat changes the water into steam. It takes a lot of energy to convert water into steam. So that takes the heat away from the fire, gets it cool enough, the fire will go out. You can also fight fires by taking away the fuel. Now the one that is most common, you've probably seen it on the news many times in the last few months, is they fight wildfires like this. In California and Colorado, they're actually burning right now. They will try to get out in front of the fire, predict where it's going to go, and they will either get in front of it and light small fires and burn all the fuel off ahead of it, or take bulldozers, just scrape it all off, or they'll dump a retardant on it that will keep it from burning. So once the fire burns up to where the fuel has been removed, that part of the fire will go out. You can also fight fires by controlling oxygen. Controlling oxygen is a little more difficult to do because it's all around us and it moves freely. But there are a couple examples of where this is done. There are some fire extinguishers that spray out carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide pushes the oxygen away. Once it doesn't have any oxygen, combustion will stop, the heat will go away, and then the fire goes out. But the one I want to talk about with controlling oxygen is probably the one fire that you probably, if you're going to ever experience a fire in your home, this is the one you're going to experience. This is the fire on the stove, especially in a pan. Many times if people are cooking in a pan, using grease or oil in there, if they're not watching it close enough, it can get too hot and it will start burning. Okay? And it burns very hot. The safest, quickest, surest way to put the fire out in a pan is by just carefully putting the lid on the pan. Reach over, set the lid on the pan, and leave it. If you don't have the lid that goes with that pan, you can set a bigger pan over it, set a cake pan, or cookie sheet or something on top of it. Set it on top there, turn the heat off, call the fire department. Okay? Just shut the heat off. And the one thing you never do is, you never put that lid on it and then think, I wonder if that fire's out, and just go to take a little peek. Okay? Because inside that pan you have burned up all the oxygen when you put the cover on it. You still could have enough heat in there to support combustion, and you still probably have fuel in there. If you reintroduce the oxygen to the fire, it could start burning instantly. Okay? So when you do this, you put the cover on and you leave it on. Okay? Now when we look at the fire triangle, we see that these are three very common things. Right now in the room you're in, you have all three of these things all around you right now. You have fuels. You probably have desks and papers and carpet and books and things. Those are fuels. You have oxygen in the room with you, because if we didn't have the oxygen, we wouldn't be surviving. So there's plenty of oxygen. And you have heat sources. There's many things in the room around you that are producing heat. There's the computers, the lights. Anything that's electrical can produce heat. So you always have all three of these things together all the time. But what's preventing there from being a fire right now is the fact that there is not enough heat. You need all three of these things to come together in the right amounts in one place in order for a combustion or a fire to start. So this is, the fire triangle is the basis for fire prevention. It's keeping the heat away from the fuel in the presence of oxygen. If you can do that, you're going to prevent fires from starting. Now when I look at this, of the three things, there is one of them things that we depend on also. In order for us to survive, we need the oxygen, just like a fire needs the oxygen. Okay? Now, if the fire is burning outside, such as a campfire, you have the fire burning, fresh oxygen is coming in from all around it, because there's nothing blocking it. The heat is taking the smoke, and many times in smoke there are poisonous gases mixed with that smoke. So it's taking all the smoke and poisonous gas and it's rising up. It floats up and blows away. A situation like that, it doesn't cause us any issue. Where fire really gets dangerous is when fire occurs in a house or a closed room where you have a limited amount of oxygen, okay? Because then you're going to be in competition with the fire for the oxygen that's in the house. Okay. Most of the times we say that there is about 21% oxygen in the air that's around us. So right now the gases around us, 21% of that is oxygen. Okay. At 21% oxygen, our bodies function very well. Fire burns very well at 21% oxygen. At that level, a fire will burn until all the fuel is gone. But if a fire starts in an enclosed space, like a house or a room, the fire is going to be drawing the oxygen out of every corner, every space of the house. This is why it's so important for you to be able to get out quickly. As it starts burning up the oxygen, if you get down to a level of 17% oxygen, this is where it starts to get to the point that your brain needs more oxygen than that to function properly. In an atmosphere of 17% oxygen, you're going to start getting very confused, very disorientated. Things that were very simple just a few minutes ago aren't going to make sense to you. Simple things like how to use a doorknob, or actually where the door is, or what you should do next. You're going to start to get confused. You're not going to respond correctly. At 14% oxygen, this is when it's going to start affecting the fire a little bit. Fire is going to still keep burning, producing heat, smoke, poisonous gases, but the flames are going to start to die down a little bit and weaken. But it's still burning, still using up oxygen. At 9% oxygen, if you're in an atmosphere with just 9% oxygen for any amount of time, you are going to be unconscious. Okay? You'll pass out very quickly. And at that point, you can do absolutely nothing to help save yourself. At 7%, when you get down to a level of 7% oxygen, the fire is going to enter what we call a smoldering phase. At this point, the flames will go out, but it is still burning. It's still producing heat, still producing smoke, poisonous gases, and using up oxygen. And it will continue burning in a smoldering phase until there is no oxygen left. When you get down to 6% oxygen, if you are in an atmosphere with 6% oxygen for any amount of time, you will not survive. You will die there. Okay. Fire is a very efficient user of oxygen. It's a very relentless user of oxygen. You cannot hide from it in a house. It is going to suck the oxygen out of the closets, out from under the bed. Anywhere that you can be, it will use the oxygen up from. So it's so very important that you get out quickly whenever, anytime a fire will start. But one of the things that happens in a house or an enclosed space when you have a fire is you have all the heat and the smoke and the poisonous gases. They will rise. They will rise up and get to the ceiling, and they will start to spread out across the ceiling. And as they spread out, they're going to be pushing the fresh, cooler air with the more oxygen down closer to the floor. The smoke will slowly start working its way down in a layer, but it's going to be much cooler, and you'll have more oxygen at the floor level for a longer period of time. Okay. Now this is why since we started teaching you fire safety in kindergarten or preschool, we've always told you to crawl low under the smoke. because it's going to be cooler, there's better oxygen, and you'll be able to see better down low when you crawl out. When we go in to fight a fire, we crawl in also because it's too hot to stand up and you cannot see anything in the smoke when you're standing up. So we crawl in also. Now for today's demonstration, I have these 3 candles right here in this box that I'm going to light. Now, right now we're going to think of this as a fire in a house. It started in a room in a house. Right now, all the doors and windows at this house are wide open. The fire is receiving all the oxygen that it wants. Okay? When it's receiving all the oxygen it wants, it's going to keep burning until the fuel is used up. Okay? So now, I am going to shut the doors and windows on this house. And there's just going to be a limited supply of oxygen in there. Now, from what we've just talked about, I want you to think in your head, try to figure out which one of these candles is going to go out first when we close the doors. And as you're watching the flames, you can kind of see your way down through those percentages. Okay. The flame on the top candle is starting to get a little smaller, 14%. Now it's out at 7% up high. Still smoking. They're still producing heat, using up more oxygen. Okay, the middle one went out, but the shortest one is still burning. So you know you have at least 14% oxygen down on the floor. Okay, this is why it is very important to remember that when there is a fire, that to crawl low under the smoke. And it's kept burning for quite a period of time here. Okay? Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to have a video that we're going to have you watch. There'll be some of this video is going to be a little bit of review of things we've just talked about, and some of it is some new information that I want you to pay really close attention to. I want you to pay real close attention to when they start talking about home fire escape plans. Because after the video, we're going to talk about that a little more.
It's okay. Just stay low. We're almost out. Hello, fire department? I'd like to report a fire.
Yes, we've all heard about the fire, and we're very glad Trina's family is safe.
But we want to hear how it started.
What's it look like now? It was really scary.
What happened?
My mom thinks it was the portable heater.
Portable heater?
But we won't know for sure until the fire department figures it out.
I can see it now. Just like TV. Flames, sirens, trucks, ladders, people everywhere.
Not at all. Our fire was small, but with so much smoke, it was hard to breathe and hard to see.
Hard to see?
Nobody should ever feel that scared. I was even afraid I might die. I want to make sure everybody I know knows exactly what to do in a fire.
Really? What's your plan?
To do fire safety for the science fair.
Me too?
And Marvin, too.
Okay, just remember the science part of fire safety. Why don't you see what the school library has? Whoa!
So it all starts with a fire triangle. Fuel plus heat plus oxygen.
Plus a chemical reaction, and you get,
Fire.
actually, combustion. Very scientific.
And almost anything can be fuel. Paper, books.
Furniture, clothing, plastics. Oh, even us.
Wow, don't even need a flame or spark. An electric stove or heater's enough.
I knew that. It's about balance. The balance between fuel, heat, and oxygen has to be just right. Otherwise,
Out goes the fire.
very scientific.
So, Rudy, we should figure out what changes the balance of the triangle and puts a fire out.
Well, obviously, if there's no fuel, there's no fire.
That's one.
And water, of course, lowers the heat.
That's two. And a bucket of sand on top cuts out oxygen.
Well, just like when that guy at the Science Museum lit a candle inside a jar, remember?
Yeah, it used up all the oxygen and went out. That's three. 3 parts of the triangle.
So that's why we stop, drop, and roll if our clothes ever catch fire. You stop because running fans the flames, and you drop and roll to...
Smother the fire by eliminating oxygen.
Hey, look! The smoke just goes straight up, spreads out, and fills the whole room.
Just like my house. All that smoke came straight upstairs, carried up by lots of hot air.
It moves so fast.
What's in smoke? What's it made of?
Tiny pieces of fuel and things like carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, and lots of other chemicals. Very scientific.
I think the most interesting thing is smoke's poisonous. It can kill you.
Whoa! Kill you?
No wonder you need a plan and have to move fast. It says here a single breath of smoke can get you disoriented or confused, and before you know it, you can't find your way out or you're unconscious.
Smoke actually kills more people than flames. Know what we should do?
Have lunch.
Talk to a firefighter. Hi, mind if we ask a few questions for our science fair project?
No, go ahead.
What starts most fires?
Can a portable heater start a fire?
Does smoke really kill more people than fire?
Where's the bathroom?
Whoa, whoa. One at a time. Most fires start when people leave the kitchen while something's cooking on top of the stove. Though matches, candles, and heaters cause trouble too when people aren't careful or do something stupid. As for a portable heater, it most definitely can start a fire, so it's got to be far enough away from anything combustible.
Very scientific.
And if you leave the room, always turn it off.
Turn it off.
And yes, smoke kills more people than fire, especially because it builds up so quickly and can hurt people even while they're asleep.
So, how come you guys can go inside?
Because we wear special equipment and bring our own air and a mask to breathe through.
We got out okay.
Oh, you've had some first-hand experience. Did your smoke alarm go off?
Yep, we got out really fast. And I remembered to feel the door first to make sure it wasn't hot.
Which could mean there's smoke or fire on the other side. Very scientific.
What if the door's not hot?
then open it a crack and make sure everything looks okay. And get out fast by crawling low under the smoke.
We did that.
Did you follow your family's escape plan?
Uh-huh.
Have a meeting place?
Of course.
And one more very important thing.
Shouldn't someone call the fire department?
Oh, yeah.
But only from outside your house, because once you're out, you never go back in. If you have more questions, I know where you can get some answers.
Hi, kids. How was the movie?
Can't talk now, Mom. Busy.
Okay, that's just great. But watch out for the cleaners.
Okay, first, smoke alarm. Gotta have one on every floor, including the basement.
Basement, check.
Whoa, look at all that fuel.
That gas can should be outside.
Have Mom and Dad move can and mower.
Now, painting and cleaning stuff. Caps on, nothing flammable, correct containers, everything labeled.
No heat nearby. Looks okay. Ready for upstairs? I smell cookies. First floor smoke alarm.
Check.
Taking inventory?
It's a fire safety check.
Matches and lighters. Hiding away.
Wouldn't want my little brother playing with those. So, Mom, how often do you test the smoke alarms?
Probably not enough.
You're supposed to test every month and replace the batteries at least once a year.
It's the red button.
Yes. Why, thank you, Rudy. What's that?
Check.
How about upstairs?
One outside every sleeping area.
Loud and clear.
Good thing, too, since that's what woke us up.
Hey, Mom, know what triggers a smoke alarm?
Particles of smoke. There's this light beam inside, and the particles of smoke make the light reflect all around, which sets off the alarm.
Very scientific.
But what if you sleep with your door closed, or you're a real sound sleeper?
Interconnected alarms. If one's triggered, all the others go off too.
Wow. Anyway, might as well check off escape plan, Trine, since you obviously have one.
Couldn't hurt to review it.
Number 1, plan at least 2 ways out.
Then practice getting out. Hey, wait! I live in an apartment on the 7th floor, and there's only one door to the hallway.
Well, then you better know what the alarm sounds like and make sure the door's not hot before you go out in the hallway. Of course, you'd have to know 2 ways out and use the one that's safer.
And never take the elevator.
Then, straight to your family's outside meeting place.
Where was your meeting place?
The mailbox. Hi, everybody. We begin our science fair with a demonstration that answers a very important question. How do fires start? All fires begin with a chemical reaction between fuel, heat, and oxygen. All 3 must remain in the right balance for the fire to continue. Take away any element in this fire triangle and the fire goes out.
Not exactly hip, but very scientific.
Next, Rudy will perform an original poem to answer the question, how can you safely escape from smoke?
Big flames are a danger and really no joke, but a much bigger risk comes from the smoke. It rises to the ceiling, and it's important to know if you must go through smoke, get down and crawl low. Smoke alarms are loud, man. They go beep, beep, beep. You need one on each level and near where you sleep. Make sure they work, man. I'm not telling you for nothing. Ask a grown-up to test them by pushing the button.
And now for our grand finale, with the most important safety tip of all, how to prepare in case there's a fire. Presenting an original song, Here's Marvin.
Draw a plan of your home, including all floors. Mark a meeting place, all windows and doors. Follow the plan, follow the plan. No two ways out of each room to be safe. Once out, go straight to your meeting place.
Thanks so much. That's the end of our presentation. Now go out there and spread the word. Make your place fire safe.
As I said, some of that video was review, things we'd already talked about, the fire triangle, and a few other things. But the one thing I really want to talk to you about today is the home fire escape plans. Okay. We've shown how important it is to be able to get out quickly because you are going to be racing with the fire to get out. The best way to get out quickly is to have the plan in place way before you ever need to use it. So we're going to talk about a few things that go into planning your home fire escape plan. Okay? The first thing I want to talk about a little bit is the one thing that starts your whole fire escape plan rolling, let you know it's time to use it, is your smoke detectors. Very important that you have the smoke detectors. Make sure they're being tested. Make sure you know what they sound like. As you noticed in the video, when Trina was sleeping in her bed that night, the smoke detector went off. She rolled down right onto the floor. She didn't jump right up, okay? Because she knew she had to be ready to crawl low under smoke. So she did that right. She got down on the floor, crawled over to the door. She touched it, it wasn't hot, and then she slowly opened it, took a look around outside her door and saw that it was okay for her to go out that way. She met up with her dad and they crawled low under the smoke and they went outside. Now, when they got outside, they went to their meeting place. A meeting place is a very important part of any home fire escape because that helps your family and helps the fire department know that everyone is out. If everybody goes different places, then we don't know that everybody's out of the house. So we want to be able to pull up there and have everybody waiting at their meeting place together. Then we know we can just go right in and try to fight the fire. We don't have to try to go in to rescue somebody if we don't need to. So a meeting place is very important. They got outside, got to their meeting place, and then they called from outside the house. Don't make your call from inside the house. Most people have cell phones now with them, so make your call from outside. Once you're in a safe place, make your call from there. And the one thing you never ever do when you get out to your safe meeting place is no one ever goes back in the house. Conditions change so quickly in the house when there's a fire that if you went back in, chances are you're probably not going to come back out. So please, get to your meeting place, stay at your meeting place. Now, what if Trina would have got to her door and the door would have been hot, or then there was smoke coming in underneath it? Then we have to go with your second way out. We want you to have a second way out from every room in your house in case there's a fire so you cannot get trapped. Most of the time, your first way out is going to be the door that you come and go through all the time. Second way out, a lot of time, is going to be through a window. Okay. A few things I want to talk to you about on windows. First off, learn to open your windows. How to get the window open. I don't want you just going with trying to smash the window with something, okay? If you do manage to get it broken, you're going to have broken glass there that you're going to have to try to climb through. You're probably going to cut yourself up. So, learn how to open your windows. Window screens, they'll push right out. They're not going to stop you, okay? You can push them right out of the way. And now, if your bedroom or the room is on a first floor, okay, you're not going to be that high off the ground. You can easily and safely jump from your first floor window down to the ground. I'm not worried about that. But if you live in a second floor or higher, then it's a little different story. I don't want people just jumping right out of second floor windows, because I've seen many people get hurt very badly when they've had to do this. Okay? So, best thing you can do is, if your second way out is your window, you can't go out your first way out. Make sure your door is shut. Try to stop as much of the smoke as you can by throwing a blanket or something at the bottom of the door. Get your window, get the window open. As long as you have the window open, you're going to have a fresh supply of oxygen coming in. You're going to have cool air coming in. From that point, if you happen to have a fire escape ladder, that would be when you would use it. If you don't, try to get someone's attention. Yell, scream, holler, throw things at people, whatever you need to do to get their attention so that they can come help you get down safely. If you're at the window, when the fire trucks get there, first thing that the captain does when he gets there is he walks all the way around the house just to make sure that there isn't somebody that needs to be rescued. That way they would be able to see you and find you and get a ladder. We could get you out quickly. But what you don't do is you don't hide, okay? If you need to use that second way out, you're not going to be any better hiding under your bed or in your closet or something like that. It's not going to protect you. It's just going to make it harder and take longer for the firemen to find you and to get you out. So, get to your window, get the fresh air, try to get someone's attention, okay? Now, one thing a lot of kids ask on fire escape plans, or we're talking about, they say, well, what about my dog or my pets or my stuff that I really like? You're not going to have time to be able to worry about that, okay? We need you to get out. We will do our best when we get there to rescue dogs or cats, or we've rescued any number of animals. I've rescued turtles before, and cats and dogs. So we do that. We try our best to get them out. But we need you to get out and get out safely. And any of the stuff you have in your house, if someone bought it for you once, someone can buy it for you again, okay? It's not worth risking your life to try to grab that stuff. Just get out of the house as quickly as you can. Okay, now we've talked a little bit about home fire escape plans. A home fire escape plan is going to be what your homework assignment is going to be. You'll get a sheet of graph paper like this. It has instructions on the back, talks about how to do your home fire escape plan. What we want you to do is draw a very simple little line drawing of the rooms in your house. If you have a 2-story house, you can draw half the house here and half the house other floor over here, okay? And mark on there doors, windows, stairways, important things like that, smoke detectors, okay? And I have here an example of a home fire escape plan that somebody did for us. You do not have to get this detailed when you do it with drawing furniture, but they drew a door there, and there's windows here and here and here, and there's another door, and the doors to all the rooms, okay? Now what I want you to do then, once you get your drawing of the house done, I want you to take a green pen or pencil or crayon or something, and I want you to draw what your first way out of the house would be, okay? So if this was your bedroom, you would come out of the room, down the hallway, out the front door. And if your meeting place is this tree, You draw your line over to where your meeting place is. Okay. And do that for the rest of the rooms in the house too. That you all go out that way and go to your meeting place at the tree. And then I want you to take something red. And then I want you to draw what's your second way out. From this bedroom, you climb on your bed and jump out the window and go to the tree. Out the window and over to the tree. Okay? And draw on there where your second layout is going to be from all the rooms of the house. On the sheet it talks about marking where your smoke detectors are. Okay? Your teachers will tell you when they want you to do this. And on the back of the form it actually has a place for your parents to sign. Because this just isn't something for you yourself to do. This is something that your parents need to be involved with too. Especially if you have questions like, okay, my bedroom's on a second floor, but underneath there's a window outside there's a roof outside my window. Well, do your mom and dad want you to climb onto that roof? Okay, you need to go through those questions with them. Or can I jump down to the deck? These are the kind of questions that your mom and dad will have to help you figure out, because I don't know your house, so I can't decide everything or tell you everything that you would need to know about how to get out of your house, okay? So your teachers will sign that, and they will collect it when you're done, and they will take a look at it and make sure that you actually taken the time to do it correctly. And it is very important work, so I really hope that all of you will take the time to do it. But now what we're going to do is we're going to watch our second video for the day. This is it's a couple minute video. I know the video is old, it's older. This is a video that was done in a testing laboratory. They built a room, they filled the room with all the normal furniture you would find in a room. And then they started a little fire in a chair. Okay. And it just goes through and it shows you the progression of how quickly that fire can burn and take over the room. It gives you an idea of how little time you have to use your fire escape plan. In there you can kind of notice the smoke layer, how it starts to come down off the ceiling as the fire continues to grow.
What makes smoke so dangerous? We're all familiar with the invisible deadly gas found in car exhaust, carbon monoxide. In a fire, this gas is always present. Virtually all materials, such as wood, cotton, plastics, literally all the contents of your home, will release this toxic gas once ignited. Carbon monoxide interferes with the ability of blood to carry oxygen to the brain. A person caught in a room full of smoke is in extreme danger. The toxic fumes cause confusion and severe disorientation. This mental state frequently prevents victims from getting out, even if an escape path is open. Eyes tearing, body racked with coughing, visibility obscured, consciousness slipping, escape next to impossible. Flames and heat are also lethal products of fire. Flaming combustion can occur when the necessary quantities of heat, fuel, and oxygen are present. Heat causes the fuel to decompose, releasing combustible gases. It is these gases, not the solid fuel itself, which produce flaming. As the fire spreads, more fuel is decomposed, releasing larger amounts of combustible gases. Buoyancy causes the flame to travel upward, igniting whatever fuel source it encounters, spreading quickly to furnishings, drapes, wall finishes, ceiling materials. Even when there is no apparent solid fuel source, combustible gases may be present. And so, like smoke, flames travel along hallways, upstairs, to distant rooms, far from the fire's point of origin. We have seen how fire behaves. Now, let's watch what happens when a real chair begins to burn. Note that our chair is in a room surrounded by typical bedroom furnishings: a bed, pillow, bedspread, dresser, wall hangings, draperies, and carpeting. Although this room has been constructed in a test facility, all its contents were purchased at consumer outlets. Their response to fire is similar to the furnishings in your home. An electric coil, acting like a carelessly dropped cigarette, is heating this upholstered cushion, causing smoldering. Smoldering is slow combustion, taking place on the fuel's surface. Smoke is present without flame. Smoldering can sometimes go on for hours before developing into flaming combustion. Although smoke develops slowly in this phase, given enough time, it can fill a structure and kill occupants before any significant flaming is present. The fire is now progressing into the flame-producing stage. Flaming combustion can only occur when the necessary quantities of heat, fuel, and oxygen are present. Right now, we have a small flame. It is rapidly progressing into a substantial fire. As we noted earlier, the heat from the fire is producing combustible and toxic gases from the burning chair. A smoke detector has been placed just outside the room. The fire has now given off enough smoke to activate the alarm, telling occupants to make an immediate escape. The buoyant nature of the gases released from the burning chair causes the flame to spread upward. Heat from the rising flames quickly ignites the draperies en route to the ceiling. The temperature at the ceiling above the chair is now 570 degrees Fahrenheit, 300 degrees Celsius. If a residential sprinkler had been placed 8 feet diagonally from the corner, it would now activate, sounding an alarm and discharging water. Fire damage would be confined to the chair and curtains. The buildup of smoke and its toxic gases has now thickened into a hot, dense cloud in only 70 seconds since the first appearance of flame. This mushrooming cloud of hot, thick smoke and gas begins to act like a space heater, radiating heat downward. The paint and wall finishes, the furniture, paper, fabric, wood, and plastics in the room are beginning to decompose from the blistering heat. And as they decompose, they contribute to the buildup of toxic and flammable gases. The smoke level continues to descend and is now 4 feet above the floor. The temperature at the floor has reached 212 degrees Fahrenheit, the boiling point of water. The huge quantities of smoke have now almost filled the room. The flow of hot air and radiant heat from the layer of smoke have combined to raise the temperature of everything in the room. The carpeting and other furnishings are now so hot that they are ready to burst into flame. And then, flashover. Every flammable object in the room has almost instantaneously ignited. The combustible gases from the decomposing furniture are being consumed by fire. The room itself is an inferno. From a tiny flame on a chair to a room totally involved in fire took only 2 minutes. Carbon monoxide and other toxic fumes are now being generated in tremendous quantities. The temperature inside the room is 1,400 degrees Fahrenheit, 760 degrees Celsius. A room that flashes over becomes like a furnace unable to contain the heat it is generating, unleashing incredible flame, heat, and toxic gases throughout a building. You are among the few who have seen this phenomenon and live to tell about it.
Now that was it was an old video to watch, but it was very good. And it showed the progression of the fire, how quickly it moved. But one thing I want you to keep in mind is that when this video was made, most of your furniture was made out of natural materials. Cottons, wools, wood, things like that. Most of our furniture and home furnishings now are made out of synthetic materials, which are basically oils. There's plastics, there's rayons, there's polyester. At this point, they figured that fire spread is doubled in speed from what it used to be when this video was made. So from what that shows, you have like half the time really anymore from when that video was made to how fires burn now. So just more to reinforce that you need to have that home fire escape plan, and you need to have it ready to go immediately when you need to use it. Okay, now the last two things I want to talk to you about are just keep in mind that your teachers are going to be making a choice at the end of the year for the junior chief and assistant chief, kind of based on if you're handing in the assignments, putting some effort into it, and taking things seriously, to see who will get to be in the Steamboat Days parade with us next summer. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the fire safety poster contest. There's a few simple rules for the contest. We want you to use the paper that we provide. It is the correct size paper for the contest. Everybody needs to do their own work on their posters, do your own drawing, your own artwork. You can use pens, pencils, crayons, markers, anything like that, but please don't use pastels or chalks that'll smudge around and make a mess. And don't tape other pieces of paper onto your poster, okay? We just want drawings, okay? This is a poster that was done a couple years ago. We will give you the theme for the poster contest. Okay, the year this poster was done, it was "Every Second Counts, Plan 2 Ways Out." That was the theme of the poster contest that year. Notice how it is written on there. You have to have the theme written on your poster. And then you can do pretty much whatever you want. You can have it this way, you can have it this way. You can draw just one picture such as this is, or you can do a whole cartoon strip if you like to do it that way. Okay. But the theme for this year's posters contest is "Serve up fire safety in the kitchen." All right. Now that will need to be on your poster. Someplace you have to have that written on your poster, and then you can draw anything that you think goes with that theme of fire safety, right? And then I will collect all the posters, and we will do some judging on them. We collect them from the entire city, but out of every classroom, there will be a $10 prize for the first place in the class, and then all the classroom winners are judged against each other to get a city winner. The city winner will get $30, second place will get $20, and third place will get $10. Money for the poster contest awards is provided by the Winona Firefighters Union. And then we'll take the winning posters from the city, and they will get sent in for the state competition for a chance to win some more prizes with the state competition. Okay? Now, that is about all I have for you today. I know this was a little different visit than I'm used to do. I'm used to being able to see you all in person and answer your questions that you have. If you have questions and your teachers cannot answer them for you, all your instructors will have my email address. They can send me a quick email, and I can try to get you answers for any questions that you have. Okay? So I'd just like to thank you for taking this time to watch the video. Please do the home fire escape plan. This is a very important thing. It's something that you need to have, and you need to be practicing to keep yourself safe. I will let the teachers know when the posters are going to be due. We haven't set the date for that yet, but I will let them know when I will be coming to collect them. And when we do our next visit, I'm not sure if it'll be another virtual visit or if we'll be able to be back in the classroom. Well, that'll be sometime in January, and I will see you all again then. Thank you very much.